November 9th, 2024. Just thought I'd check in with you and see how you're doing. How's everybody doing? Made for kids because I don't need people's comments. This is how I feel. Might not necessarily be how you feel, but this is how I feel. So unless you walked in my shoes, then I don't care what people's opinions is. Unless they want to do something positive. About my experience with the New Mexico family court and how awful they are, how unfair they are and unjust. Everything is my word against theirs. Baca's family is just as dysfunctional. That's not what he portrays in court. I mean, his mother accused his father, Jennie Vera Shulte, accused Samuel Baca of Glenwood Hills, the ex-police officer, of molesting the kids. So they're going to court and portraying this happy family when all those people in his family, the cousins, friends, everybody, not one person's ever reached out to me in 8 years. It's out of sight, out of mind. They can take your children and then just cut you off like you're nothing. Like, I want my kids to know they still have a mother. It's not about money. Material things that they buy them. They think that's love. Love has nothing to do with money, Connor, Caden and Colin. It's got nothing to do with money. It's not the latest iPhone or the latest iPad. What designer clothes you're wearing. It's nothing to do with any of that. So hard. I can't believe none of my boys, none of my children ever talk to me. It's so hurtful. It's beyond hurtful. And if someone treated them like that, they can treat me like that. The mother that brought them into this world. And I'm sure they're calling Jalen Garcia mom. She's not the mother. Disgusting, Connor, Caden and Colin. That you don't even talk to your mom. It's disgusting. Never thought you were like that. The last thing I wanted was for you to be a narcissist. there's people in a position that can help, but they choose not to. Because it's so much easier to look the other way. What do you do? I mean, if you were in my situation, what would you do? Just forget everything. Stop trying. Pretend. It's grief, just like a car accident. You know, someone died. It's the same thing. It's still grief. You never know when anything's going to change. And you've been living, you know, in a place that hasn't been very positive. The only support system is myself. I don't have any support system. I'm all on my own. Trying to navigate things on my own. You just hope and pray that things will get better. And then your prayers go unanswered. All the videos that I've made, all the letters I've written, no one's ever offered to help. No one cares. If I walked out on my children, I'd be the worst mother in the world. But when I've spent 8 years fighting for my boys, no one gives a shit. It's my war, my battle. How many people on this earth? I don't even know, like a trillion people on this world. Not one person ever offered to help, except scammers. A hope in darkness. A hope in darkness is the biggest scam. They wanted $3,600 for 3 months and they weren't even going to show up in court. I said, this is a joke. $3,600 to do what? I don't want to go to court on my own anymore. My children, Connor, Caden, and Colin, they were never told that they can reach out to their mom anytime they want. And now it's too late because the damage is already done. Is the New Mexico family court never protected my boys? Armond Carion saying that I wanted things on my terms. What is he smoking? What have I ever gotten in my terms? Like nothing. Have you read all the motions? What have I gotten in my terms? He got to pick the therapist. He got to pick where the supervision was. He got to make all the decisions. He doesn't even have to tell me if my children are in hospital. I didn't get to go to the parent-teacher meetings. I can't even talk to the kids, teachers. I don't even know what my son's grades are. I don't know who their friends are. And he said I get everything on my terms. What a crooked person. What a corrupt person. Just because I wanted to change the supervision back to Rio Rancho, where he had a big fight with Lisa. She doesn't even work there anymore. Yeah, he got into it with Lisa. He told her that children were out of control, because they were. And then he told her he was going to pull the kids and take them to neutral corners, or to, what was the other place? APN, the two worst places. I never got to choose. It wasn't my decision. Everything had to be what he wanted. And then Armond Carion had the nerve to say I wanted things on my terms. Never got anything on my terms. If you read all the motions, and I urge you to go read all the motions, you will see all the ridiculous things that Paul Brian Baca, Samuel Baca, and Vera Jennie Shulte has said. They said I would starve my kids, that I would lock my children outside the door, and that I was a horrible mother, and that Connor hated me. Connor hated me because he used to have constant tantrums, and I was blamed for all the tantrums. Instead of Paul Brian Baca working with me to figure out what was going on, he blamed me. He said it was my fault that Connor had tantrums. What a horrible person. I couldn't do anything because it's like I needed his permission. The worst thing I ever did was letting his parents become involved. But at the time, I thought I was doing the right thing. I never knew that Samuel Baca from Glenwood Hills in Albuquerque and Vera Jennie Shulte from Rio Rancho were so evil. She's a president of a park above in Notary. Those people don't know her. She's evil. She's pure evil. They're wolf in sheep's clothing. They pretend to be nice people. They show this fakeness. And everybody just goes along with it. You know, nobody will ever say, you know, I don't agree with what you're doing, because nobody cares. Those children wouldn't be part of their lives if it wasn't for me. Prisoners have more rights than I do. All because Paul Brian Baca from Sandia Labs did not want to share custody. And he listened to his father. He sold his soul to the devil. He threw away his marriage. Because why not? He was married prior to me. He didn't give a shit about her. Why would he give a shit about me? The only reason he married me was to get the grandkids for his parents. They didn't give a shit about me. I was garbage. I came last. He didn't care about me. He cared more about his mother. He would have her do things in the house and not even ask me if it was okay. Like the flagstone. I never asked her to do the flagstone. They did a shit job. It looked awful. She'll pretend she knows how to do something and then it'll look disgusting. He's such a mama's boy. He's a horrible, evil person. Only reason he got the job in Sandia was thanks to his uncle Danny Baca. He couldn't even get a reference when he left Los Alamos. After 12 years, he couldn't even get a reference. I wonder why. When I got my real estate license, he told me there was too many real estate people. He never encouraged anything. I told him when I first met him that I never wanted to stay in New Mexico. After 13 years, he wanted to move to Albuquerque to be closer to his parents. He said, oh, it's the economy. Blame Obama. That's what he would say. It's all about him, or worked out for him. It's not what I wanted. He threw his marriage away. He didn't give a shit. It's all about him. That's what narcissists do. It's all about them. What benefits them. They don't care about anybody else. He's His mother is a narcissist and his father is a narcissist. He comes from a family of narcissists. I've been on my own. Never had... my mother and my father never came from money. Ever. I grew up with 9 siblings. I was never handed anything. When I was younger, all I wanted was a horse. I used to get so jealous when I'd see other people on horses. I still do. When I see kids with horses. I've been on my own. Independent. It's hard. I get to be on my own again for Thanksgiving, Christmas. Because my 3 sons don't give a shit about their mom. They don't care. They've decided they care more about money and gifts and spending time with their grandparents than finding out the truth. Caden completely turned his back on his mom. Completely. That's what his father and his grandparents wanted. They wanted my children to have no respect for me. And that's what they got. My children. Connor is 18, Caden is 16, and Colin will be 15 in December. They make no effort. They haven't made a single effort. Not a text, not a phone call, nothing. Who disrespects their mother like that? What children disrespects their mom the way they do? They wouldn't be on this earth if it wasn't for me. For them to show me so much disrespect as they're following their fathers and their grandparents' wishes. What evil people would tell children, stay away from your mother? What evil people would do that? And then Stephen, Klump and Armond, Carion and Deborah Ramirez and Lamar, none of them gave a shit because they don't care about children. CYFD did nothing. I don't know how many reports to CYFD I did. They never did anything. And then I was told to go to legal aid. And legal aid said, we don't have any money for custody. And then I was told to go to the state bar. So I went to the state bar. And all I had was a lawyer. I'm going to find out the names that went on there. And they wanted $11,000 for a hearing. They wanted a $3,000. This is the state bar. I don't know if you're familiar with the state bar. This is kind of where low-income people go to find help. But these leeches, these lawyers that are leeches, they go on the state bar trying to take advantage of people. And I will find out the names of those people. They wanted a $3,000 retainer, and then they wanted $8,000 for the hearing. And then, if there was any objections, they would want more money. That's how much leeches they are. And I'll find out the names of those people. I told them, I said, how dare you go on the state bar trying to take advantage of people going through one of the worst times of their lives. I said, how dare you? I said, if I wanted to pay $11,000, I would have gone straight to you. I wouldn't have gone to the state bar. And then after the hearing, I tried to file more objections, and then Stephen Klump told me that I was wasting the court's time and I had to be punished, that I had no evidence. How am I supposed to have any evidence when I'm cut off from my children? And then Armond Carion goes, well, the kids can reach out to you if they want. Who's telling the children that they can reach out to me? Who's ever told the children that they can reach out to me? Why was there never a guardian ad litem? Why? Because Stephen Klump doesn't give a shit. Armond Carion don't give a shit about children. CYFD doesn't even give a shit about children. The mother and the mother relationship is really important to children. You cannot deny children their biological mother. What damage is that going to do to children in the long term? My children are so messed up. They have so much psychological damage because all they're hearing is one side of the story. They think material things is love. My children are messed up. And none of them are happy. And my kids used to laugh all the time. That they were such happy children. Paul Brian Baca, Samuel Baca, and Vera Shulte has destroyed my children. And Stephen Klump and Armond Carion and the New Mexico family court allowed it. They never protected my children. And I know that I'm not the only person. I know that if you had to do a poll, how many other families have they done this to? It's not just me. How many other families have they destroyed? Children need their mother. They cannot have one parent. They need their mom. If I didn't care, why am I still here in New Mexico? If I didn't give a shit about my kids? Those people are so corrupt. The people that work in the New Mexico family court. They're so corrupt. Stephen Klump is corrupt. And so is Armond Carion. They're supposed to take care of children. Innocent children. That don't know, who makes children choose between their mother and their father. What kind of evil people say to children, you cannot talk to your mother? And that's not considered child abuse? Telling the children that they're not allowed to talk to their mom? And I don't know what other things. Because my sons won't talk to me. Connor won't talk to me. Caden hates me. And poor Colin. They've been brainwashed. Since 2016, these children have been brainwashed to hate their mother. And the New Mexico family court does nothing to protect my kids. Nothing. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. No mother should have to go through what I've gone through. Imagine giving birth to 3 kids and then you're not allowed to spend any time. You can't even have a phone call. Can you imagine? I don't know who their teachers are. I don't know who their friends are. I can't monitor what they're watching on their phones. I can't do anything. They could be in hospital, and Samuel Baca, Paul Brian Baca, and Vera Shulte don't have to tell me. They can take my sons out of the country, and I can't even have a phone call with my sons. You tell me how messed up, how fucked up the New Mexico family court is. Who does this to children? And then they have the nerve, Armond Carion has the nerve to tell me that my sons can reach out to me whenever they want. Who's telling the children that they can reach out to me? Who's ever told the kids? Connor told me they're telling them the opposite. They're saying to him, you're not allowed to talk to your mother. That's what my oldest son told me, and he was scared to death. You look at all my children, you look at pictures of my children, and you'll see that none of them are happy. These were beautiful, loving children. Caden used to hug me for no reason, and Colin. God, they were such beautiful children, and Connor was amazing at art. I missed out on all their lives. Not because I didn't want to be part of their lives, but I wasn't allowed to. Because if I dare reach out to my children, then I'm breaking the court order and they could throw me in jail. And then I decided, you know what? I'm going to make videos because I want my story out there. And I want people to know what I've gone through. And guess what? No one gave a shit. No one reached out to me except scammers. Nobody ever did anything. And I know there's people out there that can do something. No mother should have to go through what I've gone through. My children are damaged. They're psychologically damaged because Stephen Klump, Armond Carion and Deborah Ramirez and Lamara Sanofi, I don't know what her first name is, they did not protect my kids. They cut my children off from their mother. I was the only one that used to teach my kids right from wrong. I didn't want my kids on the Xbox. I didn't want them playing video games. And I was a bad mother because I wanted the Xbox. Stephen Klump said, "Oh, you're not getting the Xbox." I used to go to yard sales to buy things for my children because I wanted to teach my children the value of money. I used to take them to the library. You think Paul Brian Baca has ever taken my children to the library? Do you think he's ever taken them on a hike up the mountain? Of course not, because he's a lazy piece of shit. All he cares about is working out, the gym, steroids. That's all he cares about. He doesn't give a fuck about my kids. He thinks that he can just cut them off from me, and he wanted me to die. He wanted me to kill myself, so then my children would never know the truth. That's what they wanted. That was their goal. Samuel Baca, Vera, Jennie, Shulte, and Paul Brian Baca, they wanted me to commit suicide so that my children would never know the truth. They underestimated me as a mother because I would never do that to my kids. And you know what? I had days when I was so depressed. Every time I went to court because it was so stressful, I was an emotional mess. I didn't have a lawyer to hide behind. I had no lawyer. Most of the time I was on my own because lawyers kept wanting more and more money. It was never enough money. They just thought you were an unlimited ATM. They're fucked up. All they care about money. They don't care about their clients. They care about money. They can take everything from you and they don't have to guarantee you anything. That's how corrupt lawyers are in New Mexico and everywhere. They don't give a fuck about you. They care about your bank account. They care how much money they want to bleed you dry and take every penny from you. I was an emotional mess because I was going in there and they were my sons. They weren't the neighbor's sons. I had an emotional attachment and a connection to each of these children. And I was a mess. I was a mess. I thought I'd go there and I could tell the truth and then the court would see. No, the court didn't give a shit. They treated me like I was garbage. They had no care that I was their mom. They don't give a shit about the bond, the beautiful bond between mother and sons that I had. If Stephen Klump cared, he would have had a guardian ad litem. That was never suggested. No one ever, and he told me I had to do a psychological evaluation, but he never provided one. And then for 4 years, because I'd go to court, and Paul Brian Baca and Samuel Baca and Vera Jennie Shulte would say, "Oh, she's refusing to do the psychological evaluation." How could I do a psychological evaluation when none was ever provided? We were supposed to go to All Faiths for integration. There wouldn't have been any integration if I wasn't cut off from my children. And guess what? Paul Brian Baca did not want to participate. Connor went to All Faiths and he had Chloe as the therapist, and Chloe told the court that she called CYFD and she said Connor said that Paul Brian Baca was hitting him and pulling his ear. And guess what the court done? Oh, you don't have to go there anymore. Like they sided with Paul Brian Baca. And then Armond Carion has the nerve to say I got everything my way. I wasn't the one that destroyed the visits in the children's services. And you know what? The kids were going to therapy like 2 doors down. But that's not what he told the court. He told the court that the children, it was stressful going over the Rio Grande Bridge. What garbage. That's what he told Lamar and Santa Fe. That it was stressful going over the Rio Grande Bridge when his mother lived in Rio Rancho. And the park above was right there. And I used to be able to see the kids at the park above. APN didn't have any park. Neutral Corners didn't have any part. All they had was baby toys. My children were, older. Why would they want baby toys? There was nowhere to take my kids. And all I wanted was to move to the meetings back to the children's services. And I kept getting denied. All my motions were denied. Over and over again. All my motions. Because they didn't give a shit. I didn't have money. I wasn't going to help their political careers. Why would they care? They don't care about the kids. The children that are put in front of them, they don't give a shit. Stephen Klump doesn't care. Carion doesn't care. And Deborah Ramirez certainly doesn't care. The way they treat families is disgusting. It's all about money. It's all about who can help their political careers. It's not about what's best for the children. If they were doing what's best for the children, they would have had a guardian ad litem. It would have been a court-appointed therapist, not a friend of Samuel Baca, Jack Schooley. He got to pick the therapist. And then that Jack Schooley had the nerve to tell Armond Carion that Connor, Caden and Colin wanted nothing to do with me, that it would hurt them to have a relationship with me. This is someone that's never met me. He wrote to the judge. He wrote to Judge Ramirez and said it would damage the children to have a relationship with me. I'm the only one that was protecting my kids. I wasn't showering them with material goods, giving them new iPhones, iPads, having them watch TV all day. That's not what I wanted for my children. Drinking sodas. I wanted none of that. All that was taken away. My rights as a mother was all taken away. Why do prisoners have more rights than I do? And how come no one's ever offered to help? All the people on this planet, people that have the means, are the people that know other people that can do something. How come no one's ever offered to help? The only people that ever, offer to help is the people that don't have money. And that's no good. If you're not in a financial position to help, I don't care about sorry. Sorry doesn't mean shit to me. I don't need sorry. I need someone that can take action, that can do something. And I've yet to meet that person. I never gave up on my kids. They gave up on me, but I never gave up on my children. If I didn't care as a mother, I would have given up. I would have said to hell with this. My kids don't give a fuck about me. Why do I care when they don't care? If my children, Connor, Caden and Colin, cared about their mom, cared about the truth, they would have reached out to me for Mother's Day. They would reach out to me for Thanksgiving. They'd reach out to me for my birthday, Christmas. Never. They would say, oh, I want my mother. No, because they're so brainwashed with material things that have no value. Material things have only a temporary value. In the long term, no one gives a shit about material things. What's important is your health and your relationships. And for them to discard their mother like trash because this is what their father wanted, and I know they're living in fear. I know Connor, Caden and Colin are living in fear because they're scared to go against their father, because they feel if they go against Paul Brian Baca that they're going to get thrown out of the house, that they're not going to get any more iPhones. What does he do with all the child support that I give him? Spend it on Jalen Garcia? Connor, Caden and Colin, if you gave a shit about your mom, you would talk to me. You would say, Mom, I love you, but this is why I'm mad. This is what I don't understand. All you have to do is talk to me. Tell me what's going on in your life. Stop treating me like I'm a bad person. All you're hearing is one side of the story. I would never be content with knowing one side of the story. I would want to know the truth. And I would never, ever treat my mom like garbage. Ever. I had so much respect for my mother, and my mom didn't have nothing like Vera Jennie Shulte. But you know what? What she did have was so much more valuable. She had the most beautiful heart, the most caring, the most loving heart, and she cared about people, and she believed in prayer, and she believed in the power of prayer. I used to go to church all the time. I used to get my sons ready and put them on suits and make them all nice for church every Sunday. And the only thing he would do was do their hair. And he'd always wait for the last minute. And then he would go flying to church. And I would always be scared that we would get a ticket because he'd be going so fast. He had no patience with the children. Absolutely not. Connor, Caden and Colin, I know that he hits you. I know that he does. And I know that he loses his temper with you. And if you don't talk to somebody, you do not have to confide in him. You do not have to confide in your grandparents. They'll only do what's right for them. They're not protecting you, boys. They're lying to you. They're lying to you about your mother. They're lying to your teachers. They're lying to everybody that can listen. If you truly, truly care about your mom, you need to reach out to me. You need to let me know. You only get one mother. And you should be grateful that you have a mother that cares so much. How many other mothers would write hundreds of letters to their children and make videos? How many moms would do that? And then Connor, Caden and Colin, you have the nerve to think I don't care about you? That I don't respect you? If you want to be mad at me, be mad at me, but tell me why you're mad at me. Don't treat your mother like garbage. Don't ever treat your mother like garbage. Never put material things ahead of your mom, ever. If you truly care about your mother, any part of you cares about your mom, you need to reach out to me. You need to let me know. You need to say, I want to know the truth. I'm not going to be afraid anymore. I want to know the truth. Be men. Don't be boys. Do what's right. Nobody should cut you off from your mother. Ever. And by you, Connor, Caden and Colin, allowing Paul Brian Baca, Vera Jennie Shulte and Samuel Baca to cut you off from your mom, your own flesh and blood, shame on you. Shame on each of you for never reaching out to me, ever. Not when my father died, not when Christmas, not Thanksgiving, not Mother's Day, not my birthday. And shame on you, Connor, for not inviting me to your graduation. I would have been so happy to be there. So happy. You didn't even care. You blocked me on Facebook. You blocked me on Snapchat. Your own mother. I'm not a drug addict. I'm not an alcoholic. I don't even drink anymore. And you have the nerve to block me? You're putting material things ahead of your mother. What kind of son does that? If I was in your position, I would want to know the truth. I'm not trying to take away your college education. I'm not trying to take away your inheritance. All I want is for you to have a relationship with me before you write me off as whatever is in your head. Talk to me. Spend time with me. All it has to be is like a phone call. It can be a text message. It can be an email. Just reach out. Stop being scared. Because you know what? That's how they control you. That's how Vera Jennie Shulte, Samuel Baca, and Paul Brian Baca controls you. Because the longer that they can keep you away from me, they know that you'll never find out the truth. All you're hearing, boys, is one side of the story. Are you content with knowing one side of the story? I know I wouldn't be content with knowing one side of the story. All the money in the world wouldn't make me stay away from my mom. I loved and I respected my mother so much. And if I didn't care about you, I wouldn't make videos. I wouldn't write letters. I'm not even writing letters anymore. I said, now on, I'm just going to make videos. I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. All I want is my 3 sons to care. Just one of them at this point. Colin, if you're listening, just know your mom loves you so much. Please don't give up on your mother, Colin. I'm here, and you have the right to talk to me, and no one can tell you you cannot reach out to your mother. Nobody. So don't listen to anyone, Colin, that's telling you that you can't reach out to your mother, because they're lying to you. Just because they have more money doesn't make them better people. Stop listening to one side of the story. Who goes to your parent-teacher meetings? What does he do with the child support that I send him? Who pays for your phone? Who buys your clothes? How much time do you spend with his grandparents? You can't even spare 1 minute to talk to your mother, but you can spend all this time with his mother and his father? They're controlling you, boys. They're controlling your mind. They're telling you you're not allowed to talk to your mother, because if you talk to your mom, you're going to be kicked out of the house. We're going to take away your iPhone. You're going to be written out the will. Who cares? There's a reason they don't want you to talk to your mother, because they don't want you to know the truth. Because if they had nothing to hide, boys, they would let you talk to me. Those people are pure evil. Sooner or later, you're going to know that Paul Brian Baca, Vera Jennie Shulte from a park above in Rotary, and Samuel Baca on Glenwood Hills, the ex-police chief, child molester, they're not good people. If I didn't care, I wouldn't fight for you. But it's exhausting. It's mentally exhausting. It takes everything. You know, I don't want to spend Christmas alone. I don't want to spend Thanksgiving alone. I've been alone for the last 8 years because my own children don't respect their mom. One day you're going to grow up and you're going to say, you know what? I wish I had talked to my mom. I wish I had listened to my mother. But the ball is in your court, boys. All you have to do, get Textnow. Don't use Samuel Baca's phone. Use your friend's phone. Call me. My Textnow number is 505-795-2057. No, let me go again. 505-427-2057. Didn't realize it was 2 7s in it. 505-427-2057. Or use me, or reach out to me on Snap. Geraldine BB 2023. All I want is for you to have a relationship with your mom. So don't give up on your mother. Don't slam the door on your mom. Because one day you're going to get older and you're going to say, I know you will. You say, I wish I had listened to my mother. Don't let anybody dictate to you, boys, whether you can have a relationship with your mom or not. Don't let anyone dictate that to you. I know in your hearts that you care. I know that you care because you're part of me. And I just want you to listen. I want to be able to talk to you. I want you to be able to just reach out. Not be afraid, not be scared. I don't know what they're telling you is going to happen if you reach out to me. What are they telling you is going to happen? They're going to kick you out of the house? They're going to disown you? So what? Then you know what they're truly about, boys. And stop listening to one side of the story. Find out the truth. Find out all the facts. Because there's always 2 sides to every story. I hope that you spend time listening to me, listening to my videos, and I hope that you find it in your hearts to say, you know what? I think it's time for me to listen to my mother. I'm not going to be scared anymore. I'm going to reach out. I'm going to know my mom loves me. Because if she didn't love me, she wouldn't make videos. She would have left New Mexico. She wouldn't bother writing letters. And guess what, boys? Think of the effort that you've made so far. How much effort have you made? You're swapping material goods, iPhones, iPads, designer clothes, college, house, big house. All for a relationship with them and not your mom. Nobody has the right, nobody, Connor, Caden, and Colin, to tell you that you can't talk to your mom. Nobody. And if they're doing that to you, first of all, it's child abuse, because you should never have to choose between your mother and your father. And the second part is, they're hiding something. Because if they had nothing to hide, then they would say, of course you can talk to your mother. But they know once you talk to me, you'll find out everything they've been saying is pure lies. So, Connor, Caden, and Colin, let this be the Christmas and the Thanksgiving that you're going to say, I'm going to talk to my mom. I'm going to reach out to my mother. That's going to be the best gift I've gotten for you, Connor, Caden, and Colin, to reach out to me. You don't know what that means to me. You know how happy and elated I would be to finally hear from my children. Because I know you care, boys. I know you care. Because you're half of me. I know you're angry, and I know you're confused. I just want you to care. I just want you to show me that you care. I'll always love you no matter what. But it hurts me every single day that goes by. Every Christmas, every Thanksgiving, every birthday, every Mother's Day. It hurts me. And I keep checking my text messages. And I go, is this the day that my sons are going to finally reach out to me? And then it's just disappointment. I don't want to be disappointed. All right, I love you. I hope you find it in your hearts, boys, to do the right thing. I love you.